Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support, any kind of updates and research I usually go out on Twitter X. Um, Later today, we'll have Firewatch episode, the second one. I'm assuming the series will last around 2 weeks total, give or take. But yeah, I think it's 7 episodes. It didn't count them. But yeah, later today we'll have another Firewatch episode. Very interesting game. It's by itself. And again, Callisto Protocol, the most recent completed one. I already put it here on the completed gameplay series playlists. Yeah, let's go to the news. Not much else going on the channel for now. Yeah, it seems that again, the 50 series it's only bringing a bad taste in the mouth for everybody because at this moment the 50 series ends CUDA 32-bit support for this new generation here, which is impacting PhysX in older games, which again. Because it now only supports 64-bit CUDA, and with what this means is older games that use physics. One of the most known is the first two Batman Arkham games. With that said, the physics will not be able to be processed in the 50 series again. Older GPUs still feature this kind of support, so it's only a thing with the 50 series, which is again they silently removed the support for the 32-bit physics, which is a shame. Again, the alternative is for this particular thing of the physics in 32 bits to be processed by the CPU, but again, given that GPUs process everything. This kind of process is parallel process, while CPU doesn't process that well this part of the software, the physics, which is physics-based stuff that happens on the games from particle effects. In the case of the Batman Arkham, I think the cape is very preeminent regarding how it uses physics in that sense. But yeah, again, people are discovering this in the worst way possible because they don't even said anything. This is people trying to experiment with stuff, and they eventually discovered and asked on NVIDIA forums, especially on Reddit, and yeah, it's confirmed. It's not good. Again, another thing that I don't know how. Again, I guess the fact that again, usually using 30-bit kind of from softwares and all this thing. If it again, the only way to surpass this kind of a thing here regarding the physics stuff is if developers update the game engine to support 62-bit physics, which I don't think it's something that's going to happen, but because mainly it's older games like 6 to 7 and beyond games that are that old. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any kind of unless I don't know. I suppose we are not going to see anything unless they start doing remasters just to justify selling the remastered to support this thing. But yeah, other than that, it's not good news again. Again, this is only applicable for the 50 series, 40s and below. So previous generations do support this kind of a thing, and I think this was managed through driver level thing that removed the support for this. So yeah, it's a shame, but again, it's another disappointing thing from NVIDIA. Which lends us to AMD. Supposedly now we have information from embargo stuff. It's going around the internet. Yeah, we kind of know now officially 28. We're going to have the supposed official launch from AMD, where I will assume they were going to present the full lineup, so the 9070 and the 9060s GPUs, hopefully with the pricing and at least first party performance numbers, and hopefully also accompanying with that FSR4 and how it is being improved, at least on this new generation of GPU, and if they can manage to retrofit in a certain way in older GPUs. But I'm not very hopeful on that, at least at the time of launching this. Yeah, and again, it seems that probably the 9070 reviews are going up on March 5th, and probably the launch is next day, so 6 March, which is something that is not mentioned on those NDAs that go for the reviewers. It seems that March 5th, when the reviews come out, is the launch of the 5070 Ti. Maybe they're trying to, again, steal the thunder from NVIDIA. Again, I talked about the 5070 Ti. This is not going very well, at least from the information that we have. Stock seems to be at the same levels of 5090s and 5080s, so not that much, and the price already ramped up. I think there was a correction on ASUS GPUs, the one that supposedly it's MSRP. Supposedly already corrected that, but again, it's very finicky. I don't trust the pricing on those models that supposedly are coming on MSRP. But yeah, hopefully they. Again, it's my hope. Again, I'm not going to buy. I'm not waiting for this to buy the GPU. Again, the GPU that I have, the 7900 XCX, is more than good enough for what I need to do, and even for playing games. I'm sure that the 9070 is not going to be like an uplift in terms of performance regarding from what I take advantage of the games that I play, and even for the workloads. Again, that's less VRAM than the my own GPU. But yeah, my hope is at least try to shake the market a little bit on that kind of 70 class card performance, almost to the same level that the high end of RDNA free, and probably around the 48-ish. If they can approximate as best as they can in terms of performance and do a shake up on the pricing, I think we might have a good market share acquisition from AMD regarding NVIDIA, because NVIDIA we need competition, because at the end, good competition breeds better prices and better products for the consumer overall. And I really do hope that AMD comes through with this one. But yeah, it's like new information, the dates. So got the 28 is going to have the announcement of RDNA 4, and March 5th, supposedly the embargo lifts for the 9070 review. So I will assume 9070 XTs and non-XTs. And then supposedly the next day, it's the official launch of those GPUs, just basically at the same time that the 5070 Ti's. Again, this, just to reiterate, this breeds a little bit more confidence for me, because they might have something pretty good on their hands, or at least they think so, especially with the price to performance. And again, because we also been seeing a lot of not a lot of stock from NVIDIA GPUs, and the fact that already RDNA 4 supposedly are being stockpiled since January on retailers. Hopefully, they have enough inventory to keep those prices low and compete on the 5070 Ti and non-Ti versions there. But yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait too much, 9 days or so. So yeah, we'll have to wait there. There was also yesterday, I saw rumblings on Twitter or X regarding NetEase, regarding Teams layoffs. Again, WCCF Tech did manage to get some quotes from NetEase itself, but it seems that it's not the full drama. Again, it's layoffs, but it's not at the scale that people seem to think. I think it's like a handful of people. This is not from the main team that was developing the game. It seems like a satellite from Seattle studio, and they were not directly involved per se on the main workloads. I think they were trying to R&D kind of a thing there, research and development for stuff regarding the game itself, for Marvel Rivals, in the sense of level design and all that jazz. I don't think they were on the support or post-launch support on the game itself. But yeah, it's a shame because again, it's layoffs on, especially in the good game. Again, the game supposedly earned an estimated $135 million in the first month alone, and has about 20 million players across all platforms. Again, this seems to be a pretty good game from what I've been seeing. Again, this is not a game for me. I usually don't like this kind of squad hero shooters kind of a thing. But yeah, the quote from them is they say that we recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. This comes from, again, I suppose there was this team in Seattle, which is not that big. I think it was like around not even I don't know, a dozen people. I'm not sure, and I will assume they have various kind of teams spread around the world regarding working on several projects in this kind of function of R&D. In this case, a lot of it is level design and gameplay mechanics, try to experiment and implement them on the main game. But yeah, they continue. We want to reassure our fan base that the core development team for Marvel Rivals, which continues to be led by lead producer Wei Kong Yu and game creative director Guangyu Zhen in Guangzhou, China, remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience. Again, this demonstrates to a certain extent also um, the gaming development world has a lot of turnaround. Again, they are very efficient, especially Eastern studios. Again, if the I don't know the developers will not contribute in a meaningful way for the project itself post launch, they will cut down those positions, or probably they might be hired for another project on the same kind of studio. But yeah, they don't tend to hang on to a bloat, let's say, if it's not going to contribute meaningfully for the game itself. At least that's the sense that I have. Um, in the other hand, we have, I don't know, studios like Ubisoft that they have several studios around the world with a lot of huge, large teams, 20K employees around the world, making, I don't know, 3 games a year. It's too much people for the projects, so they are not very nimble or very agile in that sense. While again, we see NetEase and in this particular case for Marvel Rivals, they just cut the bloat of people that are not necessary to the continuation of the project. But yeah, it demonstrates that game development, it seems to be a high turnaround market in terms of work, which is one of those things that I think Western studios, I don't know. Again, you got good and bad because you can maintain the studios kind of small and agile and keep the budgets in terms of production lower than other companies. But yeah, but then we have this kind of turnaround here. Again, I'm assuming that again they were laid off, or again, if they were laid off, it's supposed they have a contract. Again, maybe the contract was end and they didn't renew or something like that. Again, I don't know exactly the terms of the temporary contract or if it is something that was only for this project. But yeah, the information that we have now, it's again they restructure stuff again to optimize development efficiency for the game. Not much else to see here to a certain extent. But yeah, they even announced. I don't know, Human Torch and the Thing from the Fantastic Four stuff coming to the game and all that jazz. But yeah, it's how the world goes around in gaming development. And continuing with the theme here, we got Annapurna, which had its own issues. I think it was on it was on the gaming department. Everybody went away because there was a dispute regarding Annapurna Interactive and Annapurna itself, the main company. But yeah, they keep on chugging along with movies and games, and we're going to have a showcase for Annapurna Interactive February 24th, so around in 5 days or so. I will try to keep my eyes peeled to see what they are going to showcase here. But yeah, just again, I will try to watch and I will then report on my opinion regarding what they showcased here. And then lastly, we got again another example out of nowhere. This game was announced here, Karma: The Dark World. It's going to launch on March 27th, so a month or so from now. And it's coming from publisher Wire Production, developer Pole Art Studio. Again, this seems to be an Eastern studio because Wire Production managing director Leo Zulu said Yong Yang Wang and Polar Studio team have raised the bar and have delivered a rollercoaster assault on the senses in abstract, surreal, dark yet hauntingly beautiful cinematic gaming masterpiece. Again, I watched the trailer, 3 minutes. It's very weird. Again, it goes in line with the next quote here, which is if Kojima, Christopher Nolan, and the late great David Lynch ever had the chance to work on a project from China, Karma: The Dark World might just be the end result. Again, very weird, very Lynchian in certain ways, and again, seems a little bit experimental, as Kojima usually does things. But yeah, the game itself, the setup is a first-person cinematic psychological horror title where players will be investigating the secrets of their suspects' minds. Again, this is set up in an alternate timeline where post-war Germany has fallen into a dystopian state ruled over by the Leviathan Corporation using mass surveillance and mind-bending technology. What starts out as another case for Rome agent Daniel McGovern sees him undercover a world of deceit and betrayal where he begins to doubt everything he knows, including his own identity. Again, exploring this kind of themes, it's something that we stopped seeing to a certain sense from Western studios, and we've been seeing Eastern studios taking stuff, for example, Germany post Second World War, where there is a kind of Big Brother and 1984 kind of a theme here, and using some psychological horror to explore those themes of mass surveillancing and privacy, in the sense that it seems that you can go delve inside their brains and see their thoughts, which I think it might be something interesting to play with. But yeah, it's one of those that came out of nowhere. Very interesting. I do recommend watching the release date trailer here. Again, very interesting indeed. And it doesn't seem that expensive. Again, $25 for this game. Again, I think we're going to start to see a little bit more here out of nowhere. Eastern Studios just announcing games here and there, some of them experimental, trying to pick up in themes that seems to be long forgotten on certain Western studios that were again known for experimenting in games. But yeah, I will keep my eyes on this and see how it goes in terms of reviews and all that jazz. Um, but basically, in terms of news, this is it. Just wrap up here with some gaming deals. Sorry, we still have Spiritfarer. I did play the demo of this game. If you want to check it out, or if you want to play by yourself, you can download the demo and try it out. And at this moment in time, is 85% off. We got the Batman Arkham Collection again. As I mentioned in the video earlier. Again, if you have a 50 series, I don't think the physics will work very well with the first two games. But the Arkham Knight already has the support for 64-bit physics system. But yeah, older GPUs again. I really do think this is a banger of a trilogy. I did play completely both of the first two games, and I still need to buy one of these days and play around with Arkham Knight. It seems a very decent conclusion on the trilogy itself. Then we got again Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. Again, stamp of approval for my part, 85% off, and the same thing goes for the sequel, Mankind Divided. I do recommend Digital Deluxe Edition. You got the bundles there of content, and it's also 85% off, and it's pretty cheap and recommended for me. Then we got Domekeeper, still 50% off. I tried out here and there with this game. I really do like this kind of games here. Again, roguelike elements. Then we got again experimentation of what you can do with the domes and the tower defense aspect of and the mining also gameplay mechanics of this one. Very interesting, this game. Then we got Jusant, which is 50% off. I'm recording a gameplay series with this game at this moment, and it's very interesting. And the exploration and the journals that you see through, again, it leaves a very daunting idea of of what is happening in this world. But yeah, I do recommend at least from what I experienced, I do recommend this game here, especially at this price point. And then lastly, we got again XCOM. This is the Ultimate Collection. Around 1 day or so until this promotion ends. Again, it's all the XCOM games, the most recent ones. So Enemy Unknown with Within, XCOM 2 plus all the DLCs, including War of the Chosen, and then Chimera Squad, which is kind of the spiritual successor of XCOM 2. Again, everything very cheap. I think around $15 or so you can get all of this content. And again, the fact that the longevity of these games can increase by using mods, it's one of those things that I think it's excellent. But yeah, I'll wrap up here for today with a plug in my Patreon for extra support. Again, the extra support is more in line for me to try and figure out a better storage solution so I can get backups of stuff that I use for my clients. And of course, some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.